Hello and welcome to Top Hat Chat live with me, Street and Orb. Today is episode 17 of the Great Gaming Debate, where today we're going to be discussing why the PS3 failed. So this is a strange topic because the PS3 is widely regarded to have lost the console war between the Xbox 360 and the PS3.
Well, it did.
That's the thing. In sales, the last recorded sales for the Xbox 360 were in 2014, and they sold 84 million. 84 million units.
Nice.
That's the last recorded tally, which is a decent.
Yeah.
It's a decent amount. The PS3's tally carried on counting for another 3 years, and their last recorded tally was in 2017, 87 million.
87 million.
87.
So you're telling
million.
me that the PlayStation 3 technically outsold the Xbox 360?
Well, if you look at the tallies, then yes. But the Xbox's tally did stop 3 years previous to that. And up until 2014, the tallies were that the Xbox sold more. But even so, it was a very, very close race. A very close race.
Closer than I ever really imagined, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah, because everybody had an Xbox 360.
Well, I have to make an admission here.
Go.
I actually, in that console generation, out of the two main consoles, I don't consider the Wii to be part of the main console, like, war in that sense. Like, it didn't have the same level of third-party support. So a lot of the games that really made that era are sadly missing from the Wii, in my opinion. So I consider the Wii almost its own thing.
Yeah, it was different. It wasn't designed as to be a console that stood up against those two.
That's it.
It kind of went, well, we're not going to produce this massively hardware-orientated gaming console. We want us to be a really family-friendly console.
Yeah.
Which kind of went in a different direction, which is why we're not including it, because going on just sales alone,
Yeah.
the Wii blows them both out of the water.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. But I'll make an admission. I bought the PS3 first out of the Xbox 360 and the PS3. I actually was a PS3 owner first.
All right, Mr. Moneybags.
I must have been second hand. I mean, or unless I saved a shit ton.
Yeah.
Because it was about £500-600 when it launched.
It was ridiculous. It was amazingly expensive, but it was the more powerful console.
It was, and it impressed me a lot. And at the time, I was really hyped about the idea that you could boot Linux onto it.
Yeah,
And you could run it as a Linux machine at the same time, and it had a lot of processing capability. And a friend of mine was showing me that, and that sort of tempted me into buying the PS3. And it did get a lot of love from me. Like, I did enjoy the first Uncharted game, and I liked Resistance: Fall of Man when that came out. That was a launch title.
Yeah,
I did enjoy that.
but the thing is that in the first 2 years, 3 years, what were the exclusives other than that, really, that made you want to buy the console?
There wasn't a great deal. Not really. Like, I think Gran Turismo got delayed.
Yeah.
So that was one of the ones that I was actually big into having, because I loved 3, and I loved all of the Gran Turismos up till that point. And I don't really play races anymore, so that kind of spoiled my whole love for it when they ended up knocking back, because they brought out Prologue, I think they did, or something.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
and it was just like an overblown tech demo for the game, and it was that just sort of pissed me off in the wrong way. And eventually, I worked out that most of my friends had Xboxes.
Yeah.
So I jumped over, and my eyes were like, I'd never been more open. Like, I'd completely realised why everyone was on board with Xbox.
Yeah, I had an Xbox 360, mainly because I absolutely loved the Xbox, the original Xbox, and I felt like I missed out a lot not owning one. So I went straight over, and really, really quite enjoyed my time with my Xbox. There's a few things. When the cost is a big one, so we'll look at costs. The PS3 was amazingly expensive when it came out, as I already mentioned, and the Xbox had a few different consoles to suit all budgets. It also came with a headset,
Yep, the chat headset.
Yeah, which added to its kind of community experience on the Xbox, which the PlayStation 3 didn't really have as much.
I think the online aspect of the consoles is one of the things that truly separated them at the end of the day.
Yeah, see, the weird thing that I find about the online is that you had what was potentially seen at the time as a relatively expensive option going for the Xbox 360 compared to the free online that was offered with the PlayStation 3.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the online on the PlayStation 3 was a bit of a buggy mess.
Yes.
You experienced lots of lag. It didn't run as smoothly. It didn't come with a chat headset.
No, there was no real chatting to be had on it.
No.
Like, there's a reason why the COD, Modern Warfare 2 especially, and 3 chat rooms are so legendary in gaming till this day, is because of the sheer number of people that had headsets because they come through with their consoles.
Yeah, 100%.
So there was everyone talking mad shit at each other down a headset.
Yeah, it wasn't always pleasant.
No, but it was like, that to me is one of the endearing images of that era of console gaming.
Yeah.
Just like the pure hate-filled bile that was spewed in lobbies and chat rooms and stuff.
The amount of time I got abused by 9-year-olds is amazing.
It's funny.
It gave me some of the best experiences of my childhood. And of course, if that's not really your thing, you can always put spoons over your ears to block out the haters.
Mm-hmm. But it's fun. And do you know what? The chat headsets are arguably, I think them, like other people might disagree, I think they're the best headsets to use whilst you're gaming. Right? No. And this is the thing. I like and I know the main reason that people use headsets is because they don't want the sound to come out of their TV. Well, I don't really give a shit about that. I want my sound to come out of my TV. I want my sound to come out of my TV. I like playing on a big TV with a nice sound system. That's how I like to play. I don't want it concentrated in my head.
Right,
a chat headset is nice and light on the side, and it's for just pure communication. That's all you need, and it's free.
Right, yeah. The chat headset was amazing. I remember having one for years and years and years and really, really enjoyed it. Then I got a Turtle Beach wireless headset that I had for a little while. And it blew me away. The sound quality was amazing, despite the fact that I had like a full like £800 surround system in my house that I used to play my games on a giant TV. Like, it was amazing. That headset was absolutely incredible. And it did provide a lot of stuff that I wanted out of my games. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the headset itself. The fact that it came with one is amazing. And it saved you a lot of money in the long run. Because PS3 later on did have some little earpieces, didn't they, that you could buy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were like Bluetooth headsets.
Yeah, they were awful.
Yeah, I never got one.
No.
Because I completely abandoned the PlayStation 3. I mean, I revisited it a few years into the run to play Ni no Kuni when that came out, but that was about it. Yeah,
I can completely see that. What else can we talk about? I mean, one thing I do want to talk about quite quickly is the fact that the PlayStation 3 came with a Blu-ray player built in.
Yes.
So the PS2, one of the reasons that a lot of people argue, and we have argued in the past, that the PS2 did so well is because it came with a DVD player built into the system. We touched on this last week, talking about the Dreamcast and the PS2.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that would be a selling point for a PS3. Bearing in mind that the Xbox 360 didn't have this.
I mean, it
had HD DVD, but that burnt out a few years into the lifestyle.
That was funny.
Into the life cycle, sorry.
I remember HD DVD and Blu-ray was the VHS DVD, the VHS Betamax of our
yes,
era.
It was, yeah.
Because DVD didn't really have a competitor as far as I can remember. Laserdisc.
It had Laserdisc, yeah.
But Laserdisc was bloody absurd. Like, that was never ever going to win.
It blew out before it started.
Yeah, that's it. Right? And that was our sort of like format wars of that era.
That was a real one.
But the funny thing is about it is I think that contributed a lot to the PS3 sales later on in its life. Like, as a cheap alternative Blu-ray player that had some other functionality as well.
Yeah.
However, it was the last time that format really counted for anything. Because now the world is moved towards digital formats and streaming formats and downloads. in general, what the actual medium for game delivery, physical media wise now, is so little thought of that there are consoles out there that are just download only. In fact, my PC at home does not have a disc drive because in this age, format is done.
Really need it. My laptop doesn't. Yeah.
And because you would think that the fact that the Blu-ray was the main format for the PlayStation 3, that alone should have meant it should have killed Xbox.
Yes.
Because it had that dual functionality.
Based on the PS2 and how well the PS2 did, you would think that, well, it's got the winning media, so we'll go with that one. And it didn't happen.
No, and I think that is emblematic of the fact that formats become less important.
Yes.
And the Xbox stood out alone on its gameplay functionality rather than its media functionality.
Yeah. I want to visit price again really, really quickly because there's something quite interesting about third-party developers, which I did while doing research for this particular chat. I think it's worth pointing out. So obviously there was a massive price war between the Xbox 360 and the PS3. The Xbox dropped the prices of their consoles to the point where you could actually buy an Xbox 360 for cheaper than you can buy a Wii.
Yeah, they actually ran at a loss for a while, didn't they?
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah. They just dropped their prices to try and eliminate PS3 from the market.
Well, you've also got to think of, just to add on to that,
Yeah.
I don't think it was just to eliminate PS3 from the market. They had to establish themselves in the market because you've got to remember, one of the biggest things that the Xbox 360 will forever be famous for is the red ring of death.
Yeah, we will get to that in a minute.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think we would explore that particular thing more. But I think that would be why they were dropping their prices so much. It wasn't just to try and eliminate the fact that they were looking at Sony going, look how much they're charging compared to us. It's also because they were just like, yeah, we really want you to buy these consoles because we know we done messed up on this. Like, we know we messed up. You're probably going to have to buy 3 of these to satiate your gaming because they're going to die.
Yeah.
And I think that had something to do with the pricing.
Yeah. But PS3, obviously, this price war was very, very one-sided for a long time. And the PlayStation 3 held its money for quite a while, with only coming in really small price drops. Do you know what made PS3 or PlayStation finally go, well, we're going to drop the price a little bit? Third-party developers on the PS3 decided that if they didn't drop the price of their consoles, they were going to remove their support for the PlayStation.
Didn't actually know that.
Yeah, see, I did some research before, and I found a few articles that kind of reference this. Third-party developers went, well, nobody's buying your consoles, so we're making games for you. Nobody's going to buy our games, so we're not going to make enough money. Drop the price of your console so more people buy it, so more people will buy our games.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
There was multiple articles I read which noted this as being a massive cause for why the price war kind of actually started being a war and not an outright bomb campaign. It's amazing. We wouldn't have had half the PS3 games if Sony had decided, well, actually, we're going to keep it at the price. We don't care about you.
True. We'd have been stuck with endless copies of Little Big Planet.
Yes, we would. I mean, the first party games were quite good.
I liked Little Big Planet, just for the record. I did like it.
It
had Stephen Fry narrate it. Come on.
Yeah, it was okay.
And it had a killer soundtrack.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention that really, really quickly. Obviously, you had the Red Ring of Death as well on the Xbox 360, which I experienced once.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had early Xbox 360, and I've still got it now. I sent it off for repair once, got it back, still works.
Nice.
But it's interesting that even with the massive faults that were springing up, it's still doing well.
Yeah.
Well, it still did well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they truly managed to overcome the fact that they lost a lot of good consumer will for the fact that the vast majority of their first generation consoles were dying.
I mean, they regained a lot of that back with the fact that they said, well, what we'll do is on that particular issue, we'll extend our warranty. Our base warranty. There'll be absolutely no fuss. You know, I think they extended it to 3 years. And they said, if anything happens within 3 years of you buying it, then we'll immediately just send it back and we'll send it straight back to you free of charge. So they did the right thing. Also, the PlayStation 3 made the same mistake as the Xbox One, actually. It tried to release itself as a multimedia device.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It tried to be used for everything and not focused on games.
Mm-hmm.
They missed their core demographic,
Mm-hmm.
which is ridiculous that Xbox didn't learn this.
Yeah.
In the release of their Xbox One.
Yeah, I think they have learnt it they will have learnt that lesson for the next gen. I fully am anticipating them winning the next console war, in my opinion, as a very early look, because I will think they must have learnt a massive lesson this time round, because PlayStation came back with a vengeance after 3.
Yeah.
Despite outselling the console, it took
they
a lot of
outsold
damage.
it just over a longer period of time.
They took a lot of damage as a company in the sense of just the PS3 was looked upon as an inferior product to the Xbox 360, even though it was more powerful.
Yeah.
Developers obviously massively, it's come out ever since then that the PS3 was ridiculously hard to code for and build games on, which pissed off a lot of third-party workers again. The Xbox managed to score big in that respect. And I will think again that, and they just they switched roles in the latest generation.
Yeah.
Like the PS4 is a superior console to the Xbox One for games.
For games, yes.
And that's what you're really buying a console for at the end of the day. I own both consoles, but I play my Xbox a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Because I prefer the controller.
Yes, I do.
And
the controller's important.
And I think that brings on to the fact that the controller, in my opinion, had a lot to do with the console, how the PS3 fared against the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
So the PS3 controller is pretty much a carbon copy of its DualShock from the PS2. Yeah. In fact, the first one felt horrible because it didn't have any rumble in it, but it had 6-axis motion controls, which was shit and didn't really work properly, and no one wanted it. They saw the Wii was moving towards motion control, so everyone sort of had to go eventually. And we'll talk more about that in a minute.
The thing is that nobody really likes the add-ons.
No.
So when you're using motion control, the Wii seemed to do well because it was designed for motion controls, whereas the PlayStation 3 had motion controls built into their controller as an add-on. Just, we'll chuck it in because we can use it. And everyone was like, well, I don't really care. Exactly the same thing happened with the 360 with Kinect.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes a bolt-on.
No one really likes bolt-on.
And they were like, well, nobody really liked our bolt-on, but if we sold it with the console, loads of people will buy it because they'll have to, and then we'll get third-party support. Loads of people will want to do it because everyone's got it. No, it didn't work. It doesn't work. Bolting on crap on the end of your console does not work. It's like sticking on a penis extender. It's fucking pointless.
It's pointless.
Yeah. Nobody wants it. Everyone wants the real experience.
Yeah, I do. They both sucked in their terms of their in terms of their bolted-on motion control aspect.
Yeah.
And I think the controller was symptomatic of that too. But just this, and this is just my opinion. Obviously, it's all subjective, but I just cannot see how the PlayStation 3 controller is considered a better controller by anyone over the Xbox 360 pad, which was way more ergonomic. Yeah. The asymmetrical layout of the analog sticks with concave divots on top that's how an analog stick should be.
Yes.
In my opinion, It's so much more comfortable to play for long periods of time.
Yeah.
I just think PlayStation controllers are too small as well. I don't think they hold nicely in a proper hand. You know what I mean?
Proper Western hand.
And I think PlayStation suffered from that again. In my opinion, it's the main reason I don't play the PS4. As I said a few minutes ago, I don't like the controller.
No, I don't.
The PlayStation 4 controller is silly.
Yes.
It has a huge button that nothing uses.
Yeah.
That's meant to be motion control, which is meant to be like a trackpad that no games use. No. Most of them use it as a big select button.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. But I think, the Xbox come along and really revolutionised and found almost the perfect games controller shape.
Yeah, well, a lot of third-party third-party controller developers and stuff have tried to release Xbox 360 style PS4 pads, and I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, that Razer have developed one that is actually for sale on Sony's website, on the PlayStation website. You can buy a Razer style Xbox One pad
For a PS4.
for a PS4.
How much is that?
Probably expensive. I didn't check the price, but they're not the only people that have done it. Hori, I think, released one as well.
I might pick that up. That would make me play it more.
Yeah, I don't think it would make me play it more because, again, I don't like the PS4. I really don't. Anyway, we're getting slightly off topic. Also, in case anybody is wondering, we have moved the studio.
Yeah, we're
currently streaming this live from Baghdad.
That's a bit insensitive.
Is it?
It's not really a war zone at the moment, is it?
I don't know. I haven't been in a while.
You could say Aleppo or northern Syria. Or
okay, well there. Yeah, we've moved it to there. I wasn't in charge of moving it, but yeah. So that's what those loud bangs are. You might hear guard dogs as well in a little while. Yeah, but yeah, firework night.
Yeah, well, it's not firework night.
No, but it's the weekend after.
Yeah,
which is why everyone's letting off stupid fireworks.
Sign the petition.
Yeah.
Ban it. My dog's upset.
I want it banned between 8:30 and 2:00 in the morning, specifically for stream purposes. But that's very selfish of me. Anyway, the reasons why the PS3 failed. So you've got the price war that Sony refused to do anything about until third party threatened to remove their support. No headset. The online, although free, was a buggy mess. The fact that PlayStation decided that they were going to try and release a multimedia device rather than Xbox's community experience based console where everybody kind of got together and played together. They focused too much on power as well, rather than what Xbox did, which was let's release some really, really good games and really try and get everybody together on this. The games in the first few years, the motion controls.
I think we should expand quickly on the games front.
Okay, yeah.
Just at the end, because this is actually why I think could potentially be, and I could be wrong, and people might not agree with me, but for what I think it's worth, whatever it's worth, I think the fact that Xbox at the time pioneered indie games being available on home consoles.
The Xbox Arcade.
Right. That, no matter what the overall quality of the games were on there, it wasn't very good in general. But in actuality, so many of those games were purchased and played, and so many small developers actually could make a living and got to a place where they were making bigger games and were getting the chance because Xbox were willingly putting up these really cheap homebrew games available for you to play, and it was just incredible. The PlayStation didn't have anything like that. And that, for me, gave the Xbox 360 a lot of life and replayability. There was a lot of time. There was a lot of reasons to revisit the console because there was always these new arcade games being put up. Yeah. Like some of my most fun memories of an Xbox 360 is with my friends. We'd hang out in this den we had around someone's house, and we would sit for a night and we'd just go through the list of the indie games that had been uploaded. We'd all chuck in a couple of quid, purchase like £10-12 worth of credit, and just go and buy all these like 80p, £1.20, £2.30 games.
It's kind of like an Ouya bolt-on.
Yeah, it kind of is, but it was even better than Ouya, in my opinion. Like, it was amazing.
Everything's better than the
Everything's better than the Ouya. Absolutely, everything.
Yeah. I mean, the one game that I really remember from that era was Castle Crashers.
Yes, lots of people love
those type of easy to play, kind of pick up and play four player, jump in and smash things about type of games were massive at the time. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Definitely contributed to why the Xbox 360 was so popular.
Yeah, it really was. It was such a great time for gaming. There was such a strong war between the two, and the Xbox was an astounding piece of kit.
Yeah, I mean, the title of the video is why the PS3 failed, and according to sales, it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the legacy that it was that it left behind,
yeah,
it definitely did.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Nobody raves about the PS3.
Not really.
Nobody cares. I forgot it had a 6-axis motion control controller until I was researching this video, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Everyone remembers Kinect. At least that left a memory.
Yeah.
You know? There were things that it did really, really right and that should have worked, but didn't, such as the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It tried to hold out its money for as long as it could. That was a mistake. And even third-party developers knew that was a mistake.
Well, and it enforced change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was remarkable. It was challenging to develop for in comparison. Why that was, I don't know. I'm not a developer myself, but
I don't know the nitty-gritty.
The community experience is really, I think, what did it for the Xbox. And the Xbox knew that people would pay for their online. In the original Xbox era, it had online. It didn't sell a mass amount of consoles, but it was something like 2/3, I think, that then went on to purchase the online.
Really?
Or something ridiculous.
That's a high uptake.
It is, considering that it was relatively new technology and it didn't always work 100% of the time, but they knew that that's what people wanted. That's where they put their focus. People say that the online was free for the PS3. Technically it was. It was inbuilt in the price of the console.
Yeah, well, you were paying over the odds for the console.
Yeah.
So you kind of already purchased at least a year's worth, and it wasn't worth using. It was buggy and just was nowhere near the quality.
They should. PS3 didn't learn their lessons, and I think that's why the PS4 succeeded so much compared to the Xbox One. It's because they realised that they screwed up with the PS3. They realised they didn't look at what had happened before and try to improve on what they had. They thought that the Xbox isn't going to be a competitor because it didn't do well up against the PS2. And I think they realised then that was going to be a problem. And I think Xbox kind of made the same mistake the next time around and kind of went, we blew them out of the water. They can't pull back from this. I was reading through the forums from 2007, 2008. It's going back to old forum posts. 3,498 days. So that's almost 10 years ago. Some of them that I was reading. And they were saying there's no way Sony can come back from this. This was the overall consensus.
Little did they know.
There's no way that Sony can come back from this and create a console that's better. And it's really interesting. I've actually really enjoyed going through some of those old forum posts and discussions with people, discussing why it was failing at the time. People knew it was going to do poorly from the very beginning. And I think that when you've got that sense of this isn't going to go well, you side towards the victor.
True.
Why do you think so many people are Manchester United fans?
Yeah, despite never even being to Manchester.
They side with the side that's winning.
Yeah.
And that's what people did. It's a shame because it had some potential, as seen in the later console. Yeah.
With that, they really did learn their lessons from that and bounce back in a big way.
Yeah.
In a big way. So.
Yeah, so why did the PS3 fail? It didn't, but for all the reasons that we have just stated, it didn't do as well as it could have done. I think that's the conclusion to this video.
I think if you're going to look for a really short form answer as to why it failed, my personal one would be the PS3 failed only in comparison to the Xbox 360 through anything but sales.
Yes.
It didn't quite beat the Xbox 360 in any other way other than it sold more over a longer period of time.
Yeah. It eventually sold better.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the only area it wins.
But again, that's up to 2017.
That's it.
So, yeah, ridiculous. Anyway, thank you for being a part of the stream. I really enjoyed doing the research for this, and I enjoyed the discussion. It was a little bit backwards and forwards as far as... I think I mentioned cost 3 times because there was so much to speak about the cost.
No, I think it's good. I think it's nice to have an organic chat about it.
Yeah, but we would like to know your opinions in the comments below. What were your favourite games on the PS3? What did you side with at the time? Who do you think won? Is it just sales that make a console great? Or is it kind of the deeper aspects.
Also, we would love to hear if you have any ideas for any future discussions that you would like to see appear on this channel.
Yeah.
If you have suddenly a light bulb moment and you think of something that would be quite cool, be it, the Battle of Hastings or something, just jot it down in the comments and we'll have a look.
Yeah, there's no reason why not. You can find us at all the usual places. We are on Instagram, just search for Top Hat Chat. Our Twitter handles are at the bottom of the screen, just down here. You can find us over there. And we are about to head over to twitch.tv/Top Hat Chat, where we're going to be playing some more Persona 5, because I really enjoyed doing it last week. We're over there every Saturday, roughly 9 PM UK time, straight directly after these streams. And usually one during the week as well. If you haven't made an account on Twitch already, it takes about 30 seconds, and I don't think you'll regret it. Lots of people come over and really, really enjoy themselves. So yeah, we'll see you over on Twitch. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you next time.
Just before we go, True Sinister, thank you very much for your $1 donation. It was greatly appreciated. And Seabass, thank you ever so much for your $4.99 donation. That is also greatly appreciated. You guys are heroes. Thank you ever so much.
See you next time.